Hey everybody, welcome to the Clean AF Power Couple podcast. We are back. This is Dana.
And I am Dennis. This time we should have better audio.
Yeah, we forgot the Yeti last time. You know, you invest in a really nice microphone and you just forget to turn it on.
Yeah, so I think we've mentioned this before, but we are building this plane as we jump on this podcast.
Yeah.
So everyone should get a little bit better content, quality, whatever. So
that's how we do everything. If you don't know how to do something, just Google it and you'll figure it out. Right? Really, that's how we've gotten through life. Isn't that even how you parent? You come home with like a baby and you have no fucking clue what to do. You just Google everything.
Google babies.
Yeah, Google babies. That's what we do. So we're in a really good mood today because quarantine is letting up. We're going back to the gym today.
Hell yeah. We got a day date at the gym today.
Yep.
4:30 p.m. class. Just like the old times, working out together.
We have Dennis's parents watching our kids. So, yeah, we figured this is the quiet day. This is podcast day when it's nice and quiet in the house.
Yeah, so I'm going to let Dana lead off the topic today. She seems to have more of a grasp on what we're talking about, and I'll kind of, ask questions as we go. So
last time we kind of talked about the suggestion of, or I guess the topic of, what happens when a spouse, or it could be to like a best friend or partner or boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever it is, starts to maybe level up in life before the other person does. So this could relate to businesses. This could relate to positive mindset. This could relate to working out, eating good. Really one spouse who's moving forward and the other one is not.
Yep, one's leveling up, one's still in the same old rut. What do you do? Where do you go?
Yeah, and why are we talking about this?
Because we were in this exact situation 3 years ago, probably, something like that. I would say.
Yeah, I would say probably
roughly 3 years ago. Dana started leveling up before me. She started changing her mindset and bettering herself and reading books and listening to podcasts and doing all the things and working on positive mindset. And I was still stuck in the same ho-hum everyday bullshit. Like I was just going through the motions every single day, not doing anything to better myself. And I could see her changing. I could see her the sparkle in her eyes like showing. I could see she had determination too, that she wanted to do something more, and she started to level up and do more things and take on a side business. And I was not doing that. I was just doing the same thing, and I could feel it coming. I knew there was a shift happening, and I felt like I needed to jump on for the ride and not get left behind.
Right. And to be fair, all of this kind of sparked, we've both always been like entrepreneur type of mindsets, but real life happens. You get trapped in the corporate world and you just kind of start doing like the day to day, like punching in, punching out, and just doing like the minimum to get to the weekend. Like that's just a lot of people's reality. So what kind of got me like going down this path a little bit stronger, I guess, as an adult was joining network marketing, which happened to be an all-female business. So yeah, I started cruising without Dennis. And then it kind of got to the point where I think I was getting so far, and I am still to this day like the woo-woo queen, I would say, out of this household. But that's normal. But it was to the point where I was like getting so far along and he just wasn't coming with me, you know, like where you start correcting like your couple or your spouse's words, or you come in with like, you know, the couple's maybe complaining about something and you're like, yeah, but is it that bad? Like trying to look at the positive side of things, but maybe your spouse is like, what is she on? Like, where's my spouse? Because you start getting a little lost in the way.
Yeah, exactly.
So we were talking about before we came on here, kind of as these scenarios come up, because we have this happen too, like even within our current business where maybe a spouse comes to us and they're starting to want to eat better, working out, starting to feel better, feeling that like mindset shift, and then their spouse isn't yet. We have this happen all the time, whether it's people who are joining our team or just customers who are maybe trying out our products too. So
diet too, a lot of diet stuff.
Yeah, completely. And it's hard when you're in a household and there's only one person who's wanting to make those good choices and the other person isn't. That's a hard place to be for both sides.
Mm-hmm. So what do we do? So someone's leveling up, other person's kind of stuck in their same old way. What do you do? Who notices it first? Like who's the one that's like, hey, I gotta make a change? Is the person leveling up that's like, hey, I gotta grab my spouse and pull them up with me, or is it the person that's being left behind that might notice it first and be like, oh shit, I gotta start catching up to them, otherwise I'm gonna be left in the dust here?
Yeah, that's a tough question because honestly, probably both spouses see it.
Okay.
Like they both see it, but that's something that you have to admit as you're going along. But I think what comes into play here now is when Dennis was asking me before this, he's like, hey, but what do you do? Like, what does the other person do? The one maybe being left behind. What's tough is that, so even in the scenario of Dennis and I could sit and say, hey, Dennis, you should do A, B, C to make yourself a better person so you're the same as me. Number one, that's an insult. Right? By the way I said it. And number two is that law of familiarity. He hears my voice all the time. We talk about this a lot with our business. It really needs to come from that third party tool, whether that's another person, maybe it's a podcast, maybe it's a book. It really needs to be a connection that your spouse or Dennis in this scenario is making with someone else. It has to do with really, even though it's me and you want to like level up with me, it's something you individually have to make on your own because it's your brain and your mind, not mine.
Yeah, so for me, I like I said before, I noticed you leveling up and I could feel the shift happening. I felt the change coming. And you telling me, hey, you just need to level up too with me, that wouldn't have worked. I would have backfired. That would have backfired. I would have been like, screw you. Like, you can't tell me what to do.
We don't like being told what to do.
No, and it wouldn't have worked. But what did make me start doing it was you continuing to do it and me watching from afar. So, like, maybe I don't know if you did this on purpose, but, like, I saw what you're doing. I saw you, like, listening to a podcast. I saw, like, an audiobook, like, playing in your car, or, like, an actual book, like, on the end table or something. I saw the things, and it just, like, I guess after seeing it so many different times, it started to click in my head, like, hey, maybe I could give it a shot. Like, I hear she listens to this, this guy quite a bit, like, his YouTube page or YouTube channel, and he's talking all this positive stuff. Maybe I'll give it a listen. Maybe it pops up randomly on my feed now because she's been looking at it, and all of a sudden I see it like on my Facebook ads or something about, Gary Vee or something comes up, and I'm like, hey, I've heard Dana talk about this. Maybe I'll give it a listen. And it was just like the little seeds like that started planting and started growing, and I started kind of pursuing it, I guess.
Building your own curiosity. Yeah. And I would say too, like, even to this day, we'll give suggestions to each other on different things we like, but we don't have the exact same taste in personal development.
No.
Right? So it really has to be, even though your spouse could sit and you could be the spouse to be the pushy one, to push the other person, but it's going to get you nowhere because it has to be their own choice. You can start giving like little hints or maybe things that I didn't even know I was probably doing to get that other person to go look, but really that person's not going to deep dive into it unless it's something that speaks to their heart, not yours.
Yeah. And also, I was just saw this as you're talking, being open and honest about your goals too. Like you sharing with me, like, hey, I'm doing this because I see this in the future. I want to have this certain house. I want to have, this type of money or whatever it may be, whatever goal you have. I want to travel more. I want to do this. I want to have the time freedom with, with our kids and whatever. Just being open and honest and why you're doing what you're doing, to reach your goals. So with her sharing that with me, saying, I want all these things, I'm like, okay, well, if we want all that, is what I'm doing going to help get us there as a couple? And the answer was no. So that's when I'm like, shit. Like, her goal sounded amazing, like having the house that she wanted, traveling and doing all the things. I realized I couldn't do it with what I was doing, and I wanted to level up with her. So being on the same page with goals is huge. So be open about your goals and share that with your spouse.
And what's cool too is, like, as Dennis is talking about goals, and these aren't necessarily like little minor goals that you're working on each month. These are like big goals. Like, you have like that dream house you want to have, that like dream vacation, maybe spending a lot of money on a particular car or pool or whatever for your house. What's cool is these things don't happen until you believe they can happen. And what's better than having one person believe in it, having two? Like that alignment with like both of us on the same exact page, because now we want the same exact things. And it's not always as though we give an idea and the other person's on the same page. Sometimes we have to find like that compromise like you do in a marriage. But now having both of us wanting the same things, shit, that is what makes like your dreams come true. Like having both people wanting the same things. That's more powerful than me doing it and you just being a little schlub in the corner, like not being on the same page, right?
Yeah, power couple.
Power couple, that's right.
Yeah, and you get two people working towards the same goal. I mean, that's just that much more momentum, that much more power.
Right.
And manifesting, if you believe in that, I mean, it's that much more going together and working towards one specific goal.
Yeah. So as we're talking about different things, obviously we're talking more about like mindset and business, but let's say the same topic comes up in the realm of eating lifestyles and working out. I would say an easy suggestion, if you want to encourage your spouse to be doing that with you, find something they like. Like even I think about like something extra, like Dennis loves to do, like even frisbee golfing, right? That's never been my thing.
Yeah.
But if I say I was working out and you weren't, and I
Yeah.
wanted you to go do like a workout with me, I mean, what better way too than to just start being active with stuff like that? That's in
Sure.
common interest of your spouse. Like again, marriage is all about that compromise, or relationships are all about that compromise. Find something that both people can do together.
That's great advice. Yeah, finding something you both can do together. I mean, one spouse might really get into spin biking, and the other one is really big into just lifting weights or something.
Right.
So that doesn't match at all. So maybe that ain't gonna work. But maybe there's one thing you can find that you both really enjoy doing together that you could incorporate and just get the ball moving, right? You know, whatever that may be. Starting with just going for a walk, maybe. I don't know. For us, it was CrossFit. Like we both found that we really loved doing that, and that's what really like got us both like really gung ho on doing the whole workout stuff together and the eating better and all that.
And supportive too, because I mean also it really pays off in the end to have that accountability partner too, because we each have like days where we're being lazy and don't want to do something, but when the other person's like, no, like I'm going or I'm working out, like you should too. Like what better way to have that accountability at home, or even going to the like eating lifestyle too. There has to be food that you can find that your spouse will like, that they don't even know is secretively healthy, that you can start like sneaking things in, right? Just like thinking outside of your, and I'm a pretty, I always say like I'm a pretty selfish person, but I mean that because like I know what I like. But if you are looking to find that compromise with someone else and having someone else level up with you, meet them in the middle, man, because otherwise they're not going to come with you. And are you looking to give away everything you have? Because that's what's going to happen if you don't find that like middle compromise to start bringing like your spouse or that person with you. What's going to happen is you're going to continue to go up here and they're going to be staying way down here, right? You have to find like some level in the middle. And those of you on YouTube can see my hands, but I'm basically making like a tall line and a low line, and you have to find that place in the middle because we have to meet each other where we're at.
Try to reach down, pull them up, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You're talking about the food. I mean, I feel like the biggest thing that we see like with our business is we attract a lot of women into our business for whatever reason. They always
we
are
like
looking,
the ladies like us.
Yeah, they're always looking, to try the new diet and lose weight and whatnot. And I feel like the spouse usually comes, the guy comes next afterwards. But maybe they're not into like whatever diet they're doing. I'm gonna use keto for example. The guy's like, hey, I'm not doing that shit. I ain't doing that keto stuff. Fuck that. I heard you lose muscle doing that. I want to do it.
Which isn't true, by the way.
Right. It's totally not true.
Start with that.
But like you said, compromise, meet in the middle. So let's say he doesn't want to eat like all the green veggies and stuff that come with the keto diet and avocados and whatever. Like he's just not into that. And
Brussels sprouts.
Yeah, but he really likes his potatoes and whatnot. Hey, make a compromise. I know every guy out there likes steaks.
Yep.
Like, hey, I will buy more steaks for you. I will get you a ribeye steak a couple times a week if you like, as long as you give up those potatoes or you whatever, give up some type of junk food or something. Compromise. I know every guy likes steak. You can use that would be the key to my heart right there. So.
There's Dennis. That's how I lock Dennis in. Yeah, and actually as you're saying that, in fact, it is always the ladies first because I wanted to do CrossFit first and I wanted to do keto first.
Yeah.
So I'm just thinking about that. I was reflecting on that. So yeah, as we're getting at, you guys, like, it can be that one person, and it can be too, like even something in the corporate world where maybe they're leveling up with their career and maybe hanging out with people that make more money, right, than they do, because we all know you're made up of the 5 people you spend the most time with, and one of those should be your spouse. Okay, should be your spouse. I'm saying that for people who maybe don't hang with their spouse as much. So you want them on that same level as you, because otherwise it's just not going to end well. You got to be on the same page, or at least find some commonality between the two of you.
Absolutely. And you're right, leveling up is, you got to, it's with your friend circle too. Yeah. Who you hang out with as a couple. So definitely reach up, level up, find the right people. Let you wrap this up since this is your topic. But
man, I don't even know how to end it. I guess if you're ever stuck and you don't know where to go or what to suggest, reach out to someone else who's leveling up with you, because I guarantee that you're not the only person who's going through this. So say you're at work and maybe you have a new job and you find yourself leveling up. There has to be somebody within that circle that you can confide in, that maybe they could give you some suggestions on what to do with your spouse. Like reaching out to a friend and finding someone that can help you give suggestions. Or just re-listen to this podcast again and you'll find something in here.
Yeah. And I guess my biggest takeaway would be planting those seeds. Like I said, being open about your goals and plant those seeds. If you're the one leveling up and you want your spouse to come up with you, let them in on what you're doing. You know, maybe drop the seed like, hey, I've been really listening to this person, and start name dropping people that you've been listening to that have been changing how you look at things and been leveling you up. Start name dropping. They'll remember those names. Also, they'll come across it. I mean, we live in a world where we have technology in our hands at all times. They're going to come across the name. You know what? They've heard that name enough times. They're like, God damn it. I'm going to give this person a look. I'm going to check it out. And that could be all it takes to get them to start shifting that 1 degree. So
for sure. Or one better. If you find one that reminds you of your spouse, there you go. That's the person to mention to your spouse.
Yeah, if you know that they're going to relate to them. Like, hey, I know my spouse would love this person. I want to point them in this direction. So
yep.
Cool. That was our topic for the day. Hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully we gave you some type of value you can take away and utilize in your life. So
yeah, and we appreciate it. I keep getting notifications on how many people are subscribing.
Thank you.
Subscribing. Yeah, thank you guys, and thanks so much for the support.
All right, till next time.